Guten Tag, welcome to the Crypt of Wax.
Yeah.
Today we are talking Confession. I'm Baumdunkel des Äthers, an interesting record from Austrian black metal slash doom. Let's find out why, Mike. So I'm new to this band. I hadn't heard of this band until you sent them to me, Mike. How did you find about them?
I can't remember. Oh no, I just think it was on Metallum. I think there was a. I just think they were one of the bands that was in the upcoming sort of releases.
Ah, interesting.
So I saw their thing. Thought I'll have a listen, and then sent it over to you, John. See what you thought of it.
Yeah, so we don't talk about these off air. Mike just finds a record, gives it to me, and says, "Let's do this." And here we are now talking about it. So, like, it's going to be a bit more of a conversation than like an album review. But this, I guessing, Mike, that you are all over this album because
Oh yeah, you've guessed correctly. I'm all over this. This is I fucking love this.
it's really unique. It's I couldn't work out if it was a black metal album or a doom slash stoner album. It flirts the line of the
Yeah.
two very well, but they're such different genres. Like and you don't normally put the two together, but this just works, doesn't it?
It's got this kind of stoner doom, old school kind of early days heavy metal vibe, like fuzzed out vibe, but with this like sort of thick film of like black metal, like filth
Yeah,
over the top. It almost, in a way, ventures into sort of sludgy territories as well, where you've
yeah.
got that sort of blackened vocal over like the kind of some of the more faster parts that they do, you know?
Some of the riffs are very sludge as well. I mean, the
Yeah.
album just took me by surprise. It was like it starts off. You've got a really long intro. It's like 2 minutes 30 of like a sort of like a horse walking through somewhere. It's real ambient, shall we
Can
say?
I ask what you think of that? Because do you think that I'm not saying it shouldn't be on the album because actually it's kind of quite it's a cool it's quite cool as like a mood setter. It's quite cinematic.
Yeah,
It's like sort of field recordings of animals and things, and sort of sets the scene of I'm guessing what the kind of I don't know if this album's I gather from the right this album is slightly conceptual and stuff. I don't know, but at least they're trying to set a mood for what they're sort of doing here. But
yeah.
do you think when it's that sort of length, should it have been its own track, its own intro?
Um, yes, I think they probably didn't do it because people would just skip it immediately.
Oh, I would skip it, yeah.
I, and I was skipping like on subsequent. I enjoyed it the first time, but on the second time, I was like, I don't need to listen to 2 minutes 30 of this, and I just fast
Yeah,
forwarded.
yeah, yeah.
Fast forward. They're not. They do that a couple times throughout the album. Actually, there's another song later on where there's an intro, like a piano intro, and I thought that probably could have
Yeah.
been its own song. It didn't necessarily lean into anything that the song went into. It just felt a little bit disjoint, but we'll get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We'll get to that as we get on. So yeah, so there's a really long intro. Then you've got this kind of opening riff that draws out for another minute. So it's kind of like 3 minutes 30 until the band kicks in. I was expecting, not knowing what this band was like, that it was just going to be black metal. I was very surprised when the rhythm section came in. It was it was just unexpected. It was like a kind of fuzzed out rock, really bass heavy, and really like pounding drums. I was really surprised, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's I think one thing that strikes me straight away with this album is the production.
Yeah,
And this I think this is for me this is the best produced album I've heard this year. Like I
really.
fucking I mean it's obviously it's hard to compare it to other stuff because it's very different production wise, but it sounds amazing. It sounds so good.
I think it works perfectly with the sound they're going for. So, like in
Yeah.
that sense, yeah, like it's perfectly produced. I don't think this kind of production would work if you were a bit more black metal focused, because that fuzzed guitar and that it has such a 70s rock feel to
Yeah.
it that it really encapsulates that. Actually, there was something written on their Bandcamp that kind of kind of sums it up really nicely. It says, whilst musically striving further backwards than ever, which I'm guessing is that kind of leaning into that 70s
Yeah.
Sabbathy like rock sound. Confession defiantly upholds a genuine second wave attitude, but put numinosity and seclusion over numb rock and roll imagery and commercial over availability. Thus, Confession is not for everyone, nor is black metal. Ride out. I think that like summed it up perfectly because it does do its own thing, and it's not going to be to everyone's taste. But like going back into that pocket of like 70s, like there's even like a lot of Sabbath worship in this record.
Yeah.
Bringing that into like a black metal record is bold, but it's done so well.
Now, yeah, and I find their sound quite addictive. Like I've gone back to quite a lot because I haven't really heard anything quite like it. Not executed in the way they do it.
Yeah, and it's the riffs are catchy, man. They're not even like, this is going to sound harsh, but they're not even good riffs. Like they're just sludgy. Like there's one riff like da, 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 na, 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 na. It's like
It's
really
it's all about
basic.
attitude. It's all about
Yeah,
like attitude and execution to it. Because that riff that's in the second song, isn't it? That's in yeah, it's
the
in the
Bone
Bone
Castle
Castle
shatters.
Shattered, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's all about like you think of like that's take that song like the way it opens with just like the dry sort of drums, and then it goes into that riff, and it sounds so fucking good. And
it does. You're
the
right.
bass is so high up in the mix as well, which just really carries the weight. And then you've got the whole thing of like where it's where it then after that it goes into a more driving beat, and they go the drums then go kind of dry again, and they start going along, and then it kicks in. It sounds so good, man. It sounds awesome.
I was getting like Fu Manchu from that song.
I g Yeah, I got that from points of the album as well. There's definitely some sort of Fu Manchu style riffs there.
Yeah, man.
Minus the kind of like summer stoner vibe. It's like it's
Yeah.
got aspects of that, but just with like this like nastiness to it, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like yeah, that's a good point. It's like a cold Fu Manchu, like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fu Manchu when he gets a little bit chilly. Yeah, I love this record, man. I'm just gonna jump the gun and give you my thoughts of it. I thought it was such a well executed mesh of different metal styles, but like just wrapped up in such a unique and coherent as well. Because this could have easily quite easily fallen apart at the seams because there's a lot of different
Mm,
kind of things going on, but it was held
yeah,
together. I think maybe that was probably the vocal and production keeping it all together because the vocals were quite familiar all the way through, weren't they? They didn't really vary too much. There was the odd bit of like Viking-esque chant singing in one of the songs,
bit of that.
but
And
that was about
he
it.
did go down to a bit of a lower register at points as well. Like he went he kind of had it was largely the kind of higher end sort of black and sort of shriek, but he'd occasionally go a little bit. I don't want to say like death metal, but like it kind of went to that sort of middle ground
Yeah.
at points as well. The vocals sounded great.
Would you class this band more as a black metal band or a doom band if you had to pick one?
Oh, fuck knows. It's like I'd say it's like Black and Doom, isn't it? But it's
Mm,
different. But it's not. It's not kind of when you think that I think you then you then I think your brain goes to thinking of something more like a death doom sound, whereas this isn't. It's not that sort of doom. It's like I
it's
tell you
like
what. It's like
proto.
black and well, I was gonna say it's like black and like trad doom. It's that sort of
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really interesting. Did you have a standout song, Mike?
Do you know what I'm gonna go with three songs that like were probably my near enough equal part standouts, which is the first song, um, and then track two, and the last track, Hunter for the Ibex Crown, were probably my three standouts. But I was, do you know what? There was only one song on this that I felt was a little bit filler compared to the rest, which was track three. Um, I
Really?
didn't like as much as the others, yeah, but not that it was bad or anything like that, but it was I think for me, the first two songs set a bar very, very high, and I felt that track three didn't have quite what the other two had that made them stand out a bit more.
That's interesting because tracks 2, 3, and 4 were my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, something about 3 I really liked. I liked the again they did a really long intro, didn't they? It had like kind of vocal, like a sample going on. I couldn't help but like
Do you know what that sample reminded me of?
go on.
You know when like you know when you're on holiday or so you go abroad and you go to sort of like an exhibition and there's some sort of like production part of it, but it's not in English. You're sort of listening to it
Oh, I
in
see
whatever.
what you
It,
mean.
ha-
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
it had that sort of vibe to it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't help every time it Eine Lüge. I was like, what is he saying? But I'm fucking in. I'm invested as to what he's saying. But I
It
thought
sound
that
it sounded it sounded sort of like they were talking about some sort of devil or something.
yeah, because they mentioned the Baphomet, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let us know in the comments, German speakers. Yeah, I thought that song was really cool. There was a really cool disco beat that they brought in that song, and there was the rhythm section in particular in that song really like drove the song. I think
Yeah.
my actual standout was probably track 4, Das Portal.
Yeah, that was cool.
Very Sabbath at the
Yeah.
start, and that song weaved in and out of like black metal and proto like trad doom really well. I think that one was the more obvious influences being put on display, but there was something about it that just really stood out to me. But yeah, and then track
All
6.
harmonies, like the main riff, there was a really cool like the way the guitars were harmonized with one of was really cool.
Yeah, there was a
Track
lot of that
4.
throughout. It was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was a lot of cool guitar work. But yeah, like you said, attitude. It was well
Yeah.
put together. And then yeah, you mentioned Hunter for the Ibex Crown, the last track. I thought this was a really good album ender. Like it ended with a feeling of like grandiose and like it was building up for an end. It didn't just abruptly end, or like it didn't
No.
just peter out, did it? You had these big ring outs, and then it started like introducing this kind of like lead that was sort of like adding sort of chaos to the mix. I thought it was really cool. That and to me, that song was maybe one of the more evil songs on the record, like quote unquote evil. It had a darker
Well,
feel.
that's so. If I'm thinking rightly, like when in regards to them like doing kind of the blast beat parts in it, they did a bit in track 1. Then I don't think there's any more of that until track 6, and there's quite a lot of it in track 6. Um, so it did have a
Yeah,
slightly different feel to the rest of the album. Do you think? Would you like to have more of that? Like more of the blast beats, or was it cool that they didn't do it that much? So what the times they did it kind of stood out.
I feel like there could have been more.
Yeah, I
Um,
do, because I really liked it when they did it.
and what really was interesting was they were doing it over, especially in track 1, they were doing it over stoner riffs, and it was
I know,
just
it was awesome.
it was so unexpected, and like I'd never really heard it done that way before. It was very
Yeah,
unique. But yeah, I feel like they could have done more with it. I mean, this is what I think this is their second release, is it? Full
they've been
length,
going a
second full
lot
length.
longer than yeah. I mean, they've been going since 2008, but their first thing they brought out wasn't until 2019. So it was 11 years until
Mm.
they brought something out. So they've been they've been pretty active since 2019. You know, they brought out quite a bit of stuff, but up until that point, they didn't really do a lot.
Keen to hear where they go next, and then maybe I'll check out the album before, because, like I said, I'm new to this band, so I wonder if they've
Yeah, same.
evolved.
I'm keen to check it out because it's only a couple of years previous, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a feeling they were maybe more black metal and evolved into this more trad stoner, you know,
Could be right.
doom sound. Yeah, interesting. But I think a really unique album, definitely worth checking out. Um, yeah, any more to say on this, Mike, before we wrap it up?
Oh no, do you know what I just remembered though?
Go on.
Unrelated, but a lovely little thing came through my letterbox today, John. Thank you very much for the Christmas card.
Oh yeah, okay. You're welcome.
Yeah, John sent me a Christmas card. That's all it was.
Yeah, the viewers will definitely love to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. We'll wrap this one up. There was something I was going to say, but it's completely escaped me. The Christmas card thing has completely thrown me, Mike. Oh, that was it.
Sorry.
No, I
And
remembered.
I hadn't sent you one, so that's a double
Uh,
apology.
oh, that's okay. I remembered. Album of the year for you potentially? Does it go in the list?
I think it's gonna go in my list. I think it is because it's unique and it stands out, and I'm not done with not listening to it yet. You know, it stands out to me out of a lot of the stuff we've done, and I think it will carry on to as well. So I think it
And
makes it for production alone as well, John. Best produced, I don't want to say maybe best produced, my favorite produced album this year.
gets a Mike Gold star for that.
Absolutely,
And it's come out at the time of year where it's going to be, because it's such heavy rotation, and then you're doing the list. It might get a bit of
it's
a
gonna be yeah,
favorite. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So
they
they knew what they were
they
doing, didn't
they
they?
knew what they
Confession.
were doing. Cool. All right, listen, we'll wrap it up. If you got to this point in the video, give a little like and a subscribe, because we put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest metal releases. But yes, let us know in the comments if you check this one out. I recommend you do, because it is very interesting and a really good record. But yeah, we will catch you in the next one.